Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers. My name is Lara and we're here at Bite Me Burger in DIFC. Now joining me this morning is a very, very special guest, and of course we're talking about none other than the stunning and amazing Eliza Hatoum, who's a psychologist as well as a life coach. Hello and a very warm welcome.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks for having me.
It's such a pleasure to have you with us on the show today. Eliza, now you are a psychologist as well as a life coach. Tell us a little bit more about your background. First of all, where you're originally from, how long you've been here in the region, and how you got into the world of coaching and psychology.
Okay, so I'm originally from Lebanon, and I was studying in Lebanon. Actually, I was in a radio and TV major. I studied that for 2 years.
Wow,
and then I moved to the US when I was about 19 years old.
Whereabouts in the US?
New Jersey.
Oh, beautiful.
Not really.
I was there last year. It's really nice. One of my best friends just left Dubai and
maybe
moved
for
there.
a visit.
Yeah, for a
It's
visit.
okay.
But to live there, no?
I mean, I always felt more connected to Lebanon.
Of course.
For me, being in New Jersey was more about, going to school, working, getting the proper education, stuff like that.
How long did you stay there for?
About 6 years.
Wow, that's a long time. Okay.
Yeah. So I finished my education there, and then when I was planning my future career, I decided to come here to Dubai because I always felt more connected to the Middle East, and it's closer to home as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
3.5 hours
Like
by
you don't
plane.
have to fly 14 hours to get home.
So
and,
true.
You need also 2 days after that to recover from your flight.
Don't even go there.
It's
Don't
too
remind
much.
me. I know. I was traveling to New York regularly, and I
Yeah.
remember every time I came back, I needed at least 2 days
It's too much.
to get
too
back
much
to normal.
flying.
Yeah, so true.
So I went there, and before I was, in a radio and TV major, I also changed my major many times. I started, I think, a public relationships major, and then marketing and advertising. I just was like trying to do something because I know I have to go to school and I have to have a degree, but I really wasn't passionate about anything. So I guess that was the problem.
Of course.
So when I went to America, I'm like, I'm gonna do something that I'm passionate about. I was always interested in psychology and understanding how people think and why they think what they think. But psychology is not something very popular, like where I was in Lebanon. So when I went to the US, I was like, this is something that people pursue, and it's like something that they believe in, and something really beautiful. So it was a great opportunity to start a fresh career in psychology, and that's how it started.
Amazing. Mental health and mental well-being are extremely important, and I think we really came to know that during these times, the last 6 months when Corona hit the world.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of people's mental health and mental well-being was affected by the fact that they had to stay home, work from home, not being able to interact with people. So getting back to your major in psychology, I think that's absolutely amazing, and it's wonderful to be part of that. How do you find that here, being in the Middle East and being here in Dubai? How do you find it?
Like if people accept being mentally ill?
Not only mentally ill. Like, do people accept going to see a psychologist? Do they? Do they? I don't want to use the word confess, but do they discuss it? Is it easy to discuss something like that? Being in the
So
Middle East,
I
being in this
noticed
part of the
that
world?
people in Western societies are more open into discussing matters such as like mental illness, psychological disorders, and stuff like that. But still, there is a stigma that comes with being mentally ill, even in Western societies.
Yes.
Now, in Middle Eastern societies is more, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But this is one of the reasons why I love what I'm doing so much. Sorry, and through my work, I do raise awareness about mental health and how it is so important to seek help when needed and get the right help at the right time. For example, I host weekly webinars and every week I discuss a certain topic. So for example, last week I discussed eating disorders. This is something that people don't really know about.
But a lot of people suffer from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And mainly I try to educate people about anxiety and depression because people rather suffer in silence just because they don't want to be labeled as mentally ill, and that happens here a lot. And it does happen a lot because most people don't know what it is. Like when you say I'm mentally ill, or if they feel that someone around them or someone in the family is suffering from a mental illness, they would think that this person is crazy, but it's absolutely the opposite. I mean, we all get depressed, we all get anxious, we all might suffer from a certain disorder. That does not define us, that does not make us less of a person or like weak or incapable. It's not how it works. So through my webinars, I try to educate people about the symptoms of depression, what causes depression, how you should treat depression, and discuss the medications that help with depression. Because there's this thing that people try to stay away from medication. Not that I'm like, go take medication, it's the best thing to do. I mean, medication and therapy is both important, but there's this misunderstanding about what medication can do to a depressed person. So, for example, if someone is depressed or anxious, usually a doctor would prescribe you something called like an SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors.
Okay.
And it's not a Xanax and it's not a Valium. It's nothing that affects your neurological system.
Okay.
It's something that works on your mood neurotransmitter, which is called serotonin. So this type of medication only works on the neurotransmitters. Like we have different neurotransmitters in our brain.
Absolutely.
Like we have dopamine, we have serotonin, we have these neurotransmitters. And this medication works on that particular neurotransmitter to boost your mood. But when you say that to people, they'll be like, no, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to get addicted to it. It's not good. I can treat myself naturally. Sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't.
True.
That doesn't mean that you aren't strong enough, but you just can't.
Yeah.
Because there's like something imbalanced in your brain. Reading books and trying to educate yourself and doing therapy is great, but at some point, some people might need it. And it's not a big deal.
Absolutely.
So
if there's a chemical imbalance, taking such medication.
It's a chemical imbalance.
Exactly.
You know, I always say it's like if you have vitamin D deficiency in your body.
Yeah.
You try to eat food that help you, but does it help you as much as like the pill itself for a certain period of time? And
Or
then
the
you
vitamin D injection of 50,000 units that boosts your system immediately.
Yeah. So it does help.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help right away.
Yeah.
Just like the vitamin supplement. You take it and then you wait for a while until those things that to happen, I mean, the chemicals in your brain level out.
Exactly.
It works the same way.
Exactly.
And there's no shame about it. Mental illness really can affect anyone. It can affect both men and women. But there's this stigma that surrounds men who suffer from mental illness more than women, because the society generally thinks of women as like more vulnerable and like emotional, so we are more prone to mental illness than men. And it's not true. It is not true, because any person who experiences some type of stress or pressure or anything might suffer from an illness. And if you do what you need to do at the right time, you should be fine.
Yeah, then it would be easier to recover and come out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there is like a scale. If you go seek help when you're just like mildly depressed, it's not like when you go to see a therapist when you're having suicidal thoughts.
Exactly.
Because then you're in a very dark place.
That's so true. I completely agree with you on that, Eliza.
So that's the difference.
Now,
the earlier the better.
Absolutely. Prevention is better than cure.
Of course.
Yeah. So we were talking earlier about the symptoms of depression or anxiety. I think they're connected in one way or another. What would you say are the main symptoms one has to look out for when it comes to those, I don't want to call them illnesses because they're not illnesses, but to those...
Yeah, like for example, someone who's suffering from depression doesn't have to be, staying in the house like 24/7, not going out, and just like having suicidal thoughts. It could be something like you feel tired all the time. You feel like you don't even have energy to brush your teeth in the morning. It could be something as simple as that, but people don't know it. You lose pleasure in everything that used to make you happy. Like suppose I love hiking, and I used to go hiking like every week. And now that I'm depressed, you say, oh, hey, let's go hiking. I'm not interested anymore. It's just something that used to make me happy doesn't make me happy anymore. And people kind of feel hopeless. They just start questioning life, and like there is no reason to live, and what's the purpose of me living, and they just kind of try to stay away from all the people around them. And but mainly people feel hopeless. People show like fatigue symptoms, something like physical illness. Sometimes their muscles ache. Sometimes they go complain, like see a doctor and complain, like I feel my muscles are hurting so much. I don't know what that is, but they don't know sometimes that it's because of the depression.
Okay.
It's more than one symptom. And to be diagnosed with depression, most importantly, or anxiety or any other mental illness, you have to show a certain number of symptoms for a certain period of time.
And what is that period of time? Like, is there
about 6 months?
Okay.
And also, people who suffer from depression and anxiety also have a lot of problems in their like digestive system, because like your stomach tends to be connected to your brain.
Okay.
So if you can notice, like sometimes if you're stressed, your stomach doesn't feel really okay.
Doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they go see like a doctor to take care of this problem, but they don't really know what's causing this problem in the first place. So even if they treat their stomach, that doesn't mean that they're recovering from what they're happening.
Amazing.
Because it's a different thing.
Now you're also a life coach, Eliza.
True.
Tell us a little bit more about the life coaching that you do here in Dubai.
Sure. So life coaching is a little bit different than mental health counseling. They both try to change your life for the best and help you live the life that you always wanted to live. But when you go seek a life coach, you have to be mentally stable. So if you are suffering from an illness, you don't see a life coach.
Okay.
You see a therapist. But if you want to change something in your life and you feel like you need some type of guidance, whether you want to change your career or like you have something really important in your life that you want to do but you don't know how to go about it, a life coach would help you. And the most important thing, I work with clients to help them achieve the thing that is very important to them. So I can't project my opinions and ideas and the things that I value on my clients. So suppose I'm a person who values family a lot and I get a client who values education and work more than anything else. I can't, because I think that family is more important, tell my client that, you know what, you're thinking wrong. This is not the right thing to do. You should be more worried about like getting married or having a family. You know what I mean? People value different things and people are different. So you have to see what works best for this person, what makes this person happy, and guide them to achieve it.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Now moving on to the iWest platform, International Women's Entrepreneur Society. How did you come across this amazing platform?
Well, a friend of mine, I actually watched you interview a friend of mine. And
are we talking about Rita from the Breakfast Show?
Yes, exactly. And she told me wonderful things about this,
platform
that you're doing.
Thank you.
You being very nice, contacted me, and then here we are.
Well, we're very happy to have you with us here
something
today.
Great for women, really.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Now, being the amazing psychologist, life coach that you are, for all the females that are out there that want to set up their own business, that are entrepreneurs at the moment, what advice, what tips do you have for them?
Well, the first advice would be never underestimate yourself, and don't listen to other people who try to degrade you, because not everyone knows your strength and your true power. So maybe I remember when I decided to move to Dubai and kind of do what I'm doing right now, people who do not know what I'm doing would think that, oh, you think like this work is gonna work? Like, who's really gonna be interested? It's really hard for people to open up, and they will start projecting what they think about my business and kind of discourage me. Maybe it's not intentional, but that's how it
felt.
Yeah, it felt.
Yeah.
I just think that if you believe in something and you have the strength and the right skills to do it, just don't listen to anyone, because you can do anything you want if you want to. And I'm not saying that to be just like idealistic. I'm just saying it because I did it myself. I went through it myself.
Exactly, from experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I myself did suffer from mental illness at some point in my life.
Okay.
And when I speak about mental illness and try to raise awareness about the importance of mental health, I don't just talk about it because I have to. I talk about it really because I feel responsible, because I got depressed for about 2 years, and I really know how it feels to be depressed. It's something that is out of your control. It's more than just like let it go. It's not a big deal. We all go through something, hard, and we try to overcome our hard experiences and get over it. But when you are depressed, you just can't get over it. You need some type of help. So what I did, being a psychologist, I was like most people actually. I was like, why am I gonna go see a doctor? I'm a psychologist. Like, I should treat myself on my own.
Can you treat yourself on your own? I mean, of course, besides the medication and the tablets, but...
See, like when you know a lot about psychology and the things that you should do, you could help yourself, but you always need a fresh eye, and you need someone, because when you're depressed, you're like inside the box. You don't see things the way they are.
True.
But someone from outside the box could help you a lot with that.
Yeah.
So that's why if you are a therapist, you could always have a therapist for you. Or sometimes a best friend who understands you well and never judges you.
Exactly.
Works. It depends, as long as you feel that you are fine. So I was thinking, like, I am a psychologist. I felt weird. I'm not gonna go see a doctor. I could, do my thing on my own. And then I'm like, if I'm doing this to help people, how am I gonna help people if I don't admit to myself that I do need some help?
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. We're human at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Eliza.
I remember being in class. It was the abnormal psychology class. And the more the teacher explained about the disorders and about anxiety and depression, I was much more on the abnormal side than the normal side.
Okay.
So I knew that I shouldn't feel this anxious. I shouldn't be, that depressed. So I knew that I had to seek help. And then I went to the doctor. I took medication for like some time, and then with therapy and everything, I got off my medication, and here I am. I'm doing fine.
That's amazing. So there's no shame in asking for help.
Of course not.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you break your arm, you go running to the doctor.
Yes.
Because you need your arm, and that's why you go to the doctor. You want to fix it as soon as possible. But too bad we can't see our brain to see the damage that we've caused.
That goes on in there.
Exactly. But it just starts showing up like as symptoms, like being tired, having digestive problems, shaking sometimes, all these things. And that's why we hesitate to seek help, because we don't really see what's going on in there. So sometimes we decide not to listen.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. Eliza, for the viewers that are watching us right now, whoever wants to get in touch with you, how can we actually reach you?
Sure. So my website is thenewme.com, and my Instagram account and Facebook is @thenewme by Eliza.
You guys heard it, @thenewme by Eliza. Definitely check her out. Eliza Hatoum, it's been such a pleasure
Thank you.
talking to you today, and thank you so much for spending
Thanks
some
for
time with
having
us.
me.
On the
Great
contrary,
meeting you.
thank you for
Thank you.
being on the show with us today, and
Thanks.
wishing you continued growth and success in all your future ventures.
You too.
Thank you.
So much.
Thanks a lot. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for on this episode. My name is Lara, signing off. Until next time.